Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 film Silent Night, Deadly Night, and this is directed by Mike P. Nelson and stars Rohan Campbell and Ruby Modine. Billy is a serial killer who murders on each of the 24 days leading up to Christmas. However, this year he takes an interest in a young woman which collides with his sinister side. Well guys, going into this one I gotta say I was very excited. I'm a somewhat fan of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think that movie deserves more credit than it gets, really. I think it deals with trauma very well, and the more you view it, the more you see what it's trying to do. It's not just a slasher movie for the sake of it. There's a little bit of a good story there. However, going into this one, the reason I was excited was just to see a Christmas slasher. Any new slasher that comes on the horizon, I'm going to be there day one, really. And I heard a lot of early buzz coming out of film festivals and everything for this, which just enhanced it even further. A lot of people saying it's a way better than you can imagine. So that one, yeah, got my jingle bells whistling. Let's just say that way. And also, I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible because I think this movie has a lot in store than you can expect. There's a lot of twists and turns here and does a lot of things differently than the original does, but I'll try and dance around them as best I can. So let's get into it.
Okay, who's excited to meet Santa?
First off, I gotta say that this is a remake done right. Mike P. Nelson, who directed the Wrong Turn remake, of course, has done it again. I mean, with that remake, I really liked what he did there. It wasn't just the original copy and paste movie from Wrong Turn. It went in some different directions. I'm glad when remakes or reboots, whatever you want to call it, do that. We don't need to see the same movie again for modern audiences. And Silent Night, Deadly Night has a vast array of ideas. It wants to do so many different things and go down so many different avenues. I'm glad to say most of the time, Mike Nelson pulled it off. Although it does use the original as a platform, really. But what I'd like to say about this film, and the best way I can describe it, is this is a mix of three movies that came to my head when watching it. One of them is the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. The second one is Venom, believe it or not. And the third one is one of my favourite horror films of all time, in Frailty. It's like they put them three movies in a blender, and out came the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. One of the reasons I say Venom is because Billy, who is the main character in this, played by Rohan Campbell, has this little voice in his head telling him to do things, guiding him through these killings, picking people for him to kill, and giving him reasons why these people should be killed and everything. And I just thought that was a really fun way of doing it and gives you an insight as to why Billy is this serial killer. We are living in his mind, really, but it also gives another character that you can't really see in this voice. And it was just always fun to see what Billy was thinking and what this voice was telling him to do, you know, at that time. But I really liked how Rohan Campbell's character Billy doesn't always listen to this voice and doesn't let this voice get the better of him. Sometimes the voice may be giving him advice on not to do dangerous things, but he will overpower it because he doesn't let it get the better of him at times. And I think that was a very interesting angle to go with because you kind of don't know as an audience member which way each scenario is going to go. I gotta say there's some really cool Easter eggs in here for fans of the original and some of the sequels that I noticed as this movie was going on. I'm not gonna get into too many of them, but one big one was, you know, just filming the toys or the teddy bears in the shop, the faces as kills are getting committed and stuff like that. You know, the original does that quite a lot when it's panning around the toy store. Also, there's a nod to a line of dialogue from one of the sequels. I'm sure you all know what I mean, but that was really fun to see. But it never, ever overdoes it. Kind of like I love Alien Romulus, but kind of like that movie. Never, ever in your face every 5 or 10 minutes. You know, it just knows when to do it. And it was always fun to notice these little things. There's also a nod to some of the kills from the original films and everything, but just on the kills, I do think there's some really fun ones to be had here. You know, slasher fans will have a good time, I think. There are decapitations, mutilations. It's always fun to see Billy get into this Santa Claus outfit and just go on a killing spree. So, I mean, that's the main part of the movie. That's what most people came for. and it's a lot of fun when it happens. Now I just want to talk about our two main protagonists in this film. We got Rowan Campbell as Billy, but he does have a love interest in this film in Ruby Modane. Now I gotta say, Rowan Campbell was pretty damn good in this movie. Nothing too standout-ish, not one of my favourite performances of the year or anything, but he does a fine job. But Ruby Modane, I gotta say, stole the show a little bit here, where she also has a lot of issues at hand. So we also have Rowan Campbell. Obviously, he's a serial killer. That's his thing. That's his major flaw in his life. But here, Ruby Modane has these little outbursts where she just gets really angry, and you're always taken aback when it happens on screen. You're like, holy shit, this girl is not messing around. I mean, there's a moment where her nephew is bullied and she just goes and beats the shit out of this kid. So, yeah, far from perfect protagonist, but I like it when movies do that. The Evil Dead 2013 remake, for example, does this, and I really like the protagonist we got in that film, but it just knows exactly what it wants to do with the two characters when they kind of come and meet in the middle. It's a blossoming romance that carries on throughout the movie. You get invested in them, and yeah, I just really enjoyed the both of them, especially when they're on screen together. So Ruby Modane, I thought, was excellent in this, and Rowan Campbell was really good as well, but they just work together so well on screen. I gotta say, from about the middle portion of the movie, you'll probably have an idea where this movie is kind of going with its characters and why the characters are kind of doing what they're doing. However, I gotta say, the third act makes a good movie a really good movie. I mean, everything just became enhanced. All of the writing started to come together there, and everything was just starting to piece together in place. And the ending was so damn good in this film. I want a sequel now, and I think it's primed for a sequel. So yeah, that whole third act of the movie was just awesome to me. My favorite part of the film, easily, and it was just so clever and so creative what they did with this remake. However, guys, I do have a few negatives with this film, and I gotta say, as cool as the kills are here and as fun as they are, you're still having a great time. I do wish there was a bit more gore. I mean, I think it could have enhanced the movie even more if they just threw a lot of more blood in there and just had a lot more fun with it. I don't quite know what the budget constraints were or anything like that, but as a slasher film, you want to see a bit of blood and gore, don't you? And there is some, but there's not enough, if you get me. But the kills are still creative and everything. Just wish they had a bit more blood in there. Now, my biggest negative with the film here is there is a whole whodunit side plot going on in this film with a serial killer at loose who is kidnapping kids and everything. And I was really looking forward to the reveal of this character. And it was a real letdown, I say. I'm not going to say too much more on that. But when it happened, I was like, oh, really? Moving on. I mean, I really, for a movie that's got some really good writing in there, kind of missed a trick with this bit. I just wish they would have thought that out just a little bit more. And again, it could have made the movie just a little bit better there. And this is a very, very small nitpick, but it's just something I thought of as the movie was going on. The voice inside Billy's head kind of knows a lot of information on the whereabouts of certain things or locations or people, and it's never explained how this character knows that. And I kind of just wish they would have, even just like a couple of lines of dialogue, explain that a little bit more there. But you kind of just have to go with it and forget all about that, because he just knows. So yeah, maybe could have written that a little bit better as well. However, guys, I had a lot of fun with the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. It is way better than I expected it to be, and it's probably the best one in the entire franchise now. And I don't even think that's coming from recency bias. Yeah, I just think this is the best made one out of the lot, really. So if you've got an inkling about checking this out, definitely do it. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Silent Night, Deadly Night a 8 out of 10. May have just snuck into my top 10 of the year there. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want more 2025 horror movie reviews or some Silent Night, Deadly Night movie reviews, they'll be in the link down below. Please go and check them out. If horror is your sort of thing, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helped me out. Thanks so much, guys. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.